Hey, welcome to the show, everybody. My name is Mark Farzy. This is the Farzy Show, presented by Steven Singer of Steven Singer Jewelers. Hope you guys are just doing wonderful, and hopefully you're doing better than the Phillies. Hopefully you're doing better than Trey Turner, and hopefully you're doing better than me, because I am, I guess what you would call May mad. That's what I am as mad as you could be about your baseball team in the month of May. And I don't like to let things get me frustrated and upset and angry. And as I tell you guys many times, through every walk of life, I am pretty even keel. I am a pretty happy-go-lucky guy. That's just how I'm made. That's how I'm wired. But, oh, man, once you put that little hamster on the wheel in my brain of mad and anger, oh, man, does it start turning. And it's turning right now. Watching this Philadelphia Phillies team. And, yes, it is mostly centered around Trey Turner, even though last night in particular, watching this entire team play and watching how Cody Clemens and what was the guy's name that came in as not the opener, but the sort of starter, the guy that pitched after the opener, Dylan Covey? Welcome to the party, pal. 5 innings of one-run baseball from Dylan Covey, a fan favorite. I don't know. We weren't supposed to get anything. The guy is, what do we say, 6-29 in his career, and he ends up giving you 5 innings of one-run baseball, and you squander it. Matt Straub opened things up for the Phillies. Dylan Covey comes in after that. They combine for 7 innings of 3-run baseball, and your bats can barely squeeze out 3 runs. That is terrible. Cody Clemens could have had more, too. Could have had 3 RBIs all to himself, but he had 2 on the night, including just missing a home run, a 2-run home run. But it was just a rough game to watch. And I was waiting to get to the bullpen. The Phillies finally got to the bullpen, and they were able to do, gosh, damage is even way too strong. They were able to do some stuff later in the ball game, but what a frustrating. Here's where I'm at with Trey Turner, folks. I am at the point of acknowledging and bringing into the conversation Einstein's definition of insanity. Doing the same thing over and over again and expecting a different outcome, expecting a different result. I am watching Trey Turner do the same thing over and over again, and somehow he expects to have better than a 260 batting average. Somehow he expects to have a better than 300 on base percentage. That's not going to change there, Trey. I, at this point, this is something that is beyond Kevin Long. I would love for Kevin Long to be able to just hypnotize Trey Turner and turn him into yet again a 300-plus hitter and a 340 on base percentage man, and stealing bases and hitting home runs and getting doubles and triples and wowing us with his amazing slides. But that's not going to happen. This is something Trey Turner has to fix within himself. And you know what? The first step to solving any problem is acknowledging there's a problem. Trey Turner has acknowledged he's got a problem. Now, as to what that problem is exactly, he doesn't seem to know, and how to fix it, he seems to have no idea. I am seeing Trey Turner continuously swing over sliders. I'm seeing him continuously swing over sinkers. I'm seeing him more than anything, and this is every single at-bat. You're down 0-2, and yesterday I made the point. I don't know where he is, but he's got to be somewhere in the top 3 in terms of facing 0-2 counts. He's got to be somewhere in the top 3 in baseball facing 0-2 counts. You know what? I wasn't that far off, because in the National League, he's second. Corey Simon of NBC Sports Philadelphia put this out last night. Trey Turner has been down in the count 0-2 55 times this season, second in the National League. The only player who has seen more 0-2 counts, Bryson Stott, 59. The thing is with Bryson Stott, it doesn't get talked about as much because he's hitting like 280, 290. He's got a couple of home runs. It's nice. And also, on top of that, he's not making $300 million. So it's not as highlighted as it would be for Trey Turner. Oh, and Bryson Stott also has an on-base percentage of 320, which isn't great, but it's still better than Trey Turner. So I'm watching him continuously getting those 0-2 counts, and last night in particular, I'm watching him go up against Ryan Nelson. And Nelson, every single time, was starting him out on the outside corner of the plate. And every time, Trey Turner's just flailing away at that pitch. And it's gotten to the point where you've heard Ruben Amaro Jr. almost joke about it. You heard that on the last road trip. Oh, I was surprised he's down 0-2. And then you hear John Kruk last night go, I'm sorry, what? Hold on a second. You're not waiting for a good pitch to hit. You're in the slump that you're in. You're in the funk that you're in. You can't get out of your own head, and you're not waiting for a good pitch to hit. Like, even though that ball is coming in on the outside corner of the plate, you're going to swing away at it? Even if you're sitting fastball, you got to recognize that pitch is not going to be one that you can do anything with. Yeah, maybe you flail the bat head out there and you poke it down the right field line. But why not in your first at bat of the game, why not the first pitch you're seeing, whether it's your first or second really, why not wait till you get a good pitch to hit? Draw the count long. I know it's not something, and I know people think this because he's been a top-of-the-order guy throughout his career, but he's not somebody that goes deep in the counts. How about better swing decisions? How about better plate discipline, as it's more commonly known? But I feel like you have to rewrite everything with Trey Turner. Time and time again, we see the same thing, and he's expecting a different result. He's not going to be better than 260. He's probably going to end the season at 240 if he keeps up what he's doing. This is ridiculous. And of all the guys in the Phillies lineup, Trey Turner is the one that is just driving me bonkers. Like Kyle Schwarber, I feel like we know where we're at with Kyle Schwarber. We know it's going to be home run or bust. We know it's going to be a situation like that. But with Trey Turner, it's like we know there's a better brand of baseball. I saw somebody put up the question yesterday, is he breaking down? He's 29 years old. He's going to be 30 next month, but he's 29 years old. I'm not looking at Trey Turner and be like, oh, this guy's cooked. This guy's done. I'm not thinking that. I'm thinking there's much better baseball left in him, and we better see it before this season's over. But there's really no excuse for it other than the guy's just going through something mentally. I don't mean personally. I don't mean anything out of the ordinary. I just mean baseball-wise. He's got to be going through something where he's just in a funk. He's got a mental block. He's in a slump of some kind, as we already know by the numbers. But something's got to happen here that either sets him straight. A big hit in a clutch situation. He's got to come up and do something that lets him know that he can still be an all-star caliber player. That's what needs to happen. And I don't know when that's going to come. That's one of the funny things about baseball. It can come when the calendar changes to June. It could come today watch him go out there against Zach Gallen and go 3 for 4, right? They've tried the day off. They tried things with him, and it just hasn't worked. He's got to find a way to get out of his own way, and that's the only way that they're going to turn this around. That stat, though, is incredible. 55 times this season. 0-2 count. Unbelievable. Second most in the National League. Some of the things that we're going to get to, we will continue to talk about the Phillies here. And I don't know if you guys have any bright ideas as far as what needs to happen with this Phillies team, but I'm all ears. So as always, hit me up in the chat check. We'll get to you guys a little bit later in the program as per usual. Right now, the Phillies got that 10-game road trip looming, unfortunately. And somebody that was just talking about it the other day, or actually yesterday, I should say. Rob Thompson was asked a couple of things that we'll get to. One had to do with the mood of the clubhouse, given that they're going on this 10-game road trip after today. And there are 7 games, currently 7 games out of first place in the division in the month of May. 7 games out of first place in the division, 2.5 games out of a wild card spot. So if you're looking for a bright spot, if you're looking for a silver lining, Phillies are still in the hunt. And look, it's May. Like I said, I am May mad at the Phillies right now. We'll go through the play-by-play of the game as well. I will let you hear what Rob Thompson had to say about the loss and the overall mood of the clubhouse. Some other things we're going to get on the show today. I've talked about the Thursday night flexing, and I thought this was dead for at least the rest of this year. It was proposed, it was kicked around, it was being reconsidered, and now it seems like it's here. Thursday night flex schedules for Amazon from week 13 to week 17. I've told you guys I had 11 glorious, wonderful, awesome years with NBC Sunday Night Football. Traveled around the country, watching football, talk about a dream job. That was incredible, working behind the scenes with that crew. Love those people. My first game with Sunday Night Football was Eagles-Cowboys, the game Jason Witten's helmet popped off, and he kept on running, and John Madden was losing his damn mind over it. This is incredible. The late, great John Madden, you know. And it's great. That game, I think, was when we announced, I had anything to do with it, when NBC announced the flex schedule. And people at the time were upset because, what if you make plans to travel to a stadium for a game at that time, and then you got to go and you got to get to flight that night, or you got something to do, whatever. It changes people's plans, which is unfortunate. I thought it was, in a small sample size, almost a necessary evil. I know the counter argument to it is, well, why can't they just pick the better games before the season? Well, yeah, that'd be nice, except we've all seen teams with great expectations suck, and then nobody wants to watch them on primetime. They make a lot of money with that primetime broadcast. It's Sunday night. It caps off a long day of football. It's great. So you want to make sure that that's a good game. I understand it. But it does open up, to an extent, Pandora's box. Next thing you know, you're going to want Monday Night Football flexing. You're going to want, obviously, now Thursday Night Football flexing. And now fans have to have that in the back of their head if they're making plans for week 13 to week 17. It could affect the Eagles in two regards, given the stipulations around flexing a game. Week 13, the Eagles face the 49ers. Week 17, the Eagles face the Cardinals. So those are the only two games, and under the new guidelines, and the one that really matters here, which is what I think everybody else is concerned about, is 28 days notice. Now, that is more than double the amount of time you have to give notice to flex a different game. It's normally 12 days in advance that you have to give notice. Like for a Sunday night flex, you'd have to give 12 days notice that you're going to flex out of a 105 game, and you're going to put that game now in prime time. This is almost a month's notice. So for the people that are making travel plans, chances are before the season you've already made them, but at least this is 28 days. So don't make any plans 28 days out of the game. I don't like it. I don't like it even a little bit. The idea of flex scheduling seems weird to me, and it seems wrong. Flat out seems wrong, because you're changing something that should be set in stone for people that want to travel to those games, go to those games. However, I understand doing it for maybe one of your primetime partners, but as we all know, if you do it for one, you got to do it for everybody. So I am anti-Thursday flex. And I'm anti-Thursday flex especially because it's the middle of the week. Why am I going to allow that to happen? I don't like it. So that's what the NFL is doing right now. And it could affect two games for the Eagles. Week 13 with the 49ers and week 17 with the Cardinals. 28 days notice, huh? 28 days notice. So I wanted to make sure you guys were aware of that. That's something that could be going down and affecting the Eagles regardless, again, this season. Frank Vogel interviewed with the 76ers yesterday. Frank Vogel interviewed with the 76ers yesterday. Frank Vogel won an NBA championship with the Lakers in the bubble. Frank Vogel, what really should be his two ultimate brags, I guess. He took the Indiana Pacers, the Paul George, Roy Hibbert Indiana Pacers, to the Eastern Conference Finals back-to-back years. And in back-to-back years, he ran into a buzzsaw known as the Miami Heat with LeBron James and Chris Bosh and Dwayne Wade, of course, and Ray Allen. That's a tough draw. Unfortunately, you have your best years as a coach. He won a championship later. And it's funny that Vogel ended up winning the championship with LeBron, who beat him in those plays. So LeBron, nice guy, I guess, wants to get him a championship, got him a championship. The other brag is that Frank Vogel, and I didn't know this before yesterday, because whenever there's another rumor about another head coach possibly coming into Philadelphia, I always go to the Wikipedia, and I just maybe I'll learn something about him, right? And sure enough, I didn't know this. Frank Vogel was on one of my favorite television shows of all time, Late Night with David Letterman, and it was on one of my favorite segments of all time, Stupid Human Tricks. And Frank Vogel went out there as a little kid. He was like 12 or 13 years old, the Wildwood boy, goes out there with like a bowl haircut, okay? And David Letterman says, what do you want to do there, fella? And he goes, Frank Vogel goes like, I'm going to spin this basketball on a toothbrush and brush my teeth with it. Oh, okay, son. Go ahead and do it. And he does it. And it looked hilarious. It was awesome. If you haven't seen it, it's on YouTube. So Frank Vogel sat down with the 76ers yesterday to become their next head coach. Nope. The rumors are right now Nick Nurse and Doc Rivers, as well as two other associate head coaches, according to Adrian Wojnarowski, are in line in the narrowed search for the Phoenix Suns job. One thing that we always have to acknowledge in a head coaching search is that everyone is going to make money. So it's not just like the Sixers are going to go, oh, boatload of cash? Sure. But pretty much everybody could go boatload of cash. Phoenix Suns could go boatload of cash. How desirable is the situation right now if you're another head coach? If you're another head coach and you're going to get hired here, you already know that James Harden is not going to be here unless your name is Mike D'Antoni. Yeah. So we already know that you're going to be dealing with the maturation process of Tyrese Maxey, and you're going to be inheriting an MVP. That seems like it's a pretty nice setup. But you want to win a championship, right? Are the Sixers right now built to win a championship? No. Are the Suns closer to winning a championship? Yeah, I'd say probably. Definitely. So it's not just going to be about money. It's going to be about being competitive and how competitive you're going to be with the rest of the league. If you have an opportunity as the next head coach or you're in your next head coaching job to win a championship, obviously you're going to jump on that. So watching Doc Rivers be a finalist for that or seeing Doc Rivers be a finalist for that, I think is interesting. And then also seeing a guy like Nick Nurse be a finalist for that is interesting because both those guys have already won championships. If you're the Suns, I think it's an easy decision. I think you're going to want to see Nick Nurse as your head coach over Doc Rivers. And I don't think we really have to talk about why. I think we understand what Doc's got going on there. So for me, I find it's going to be an interesting thing that the Sixers are going to have to go in the direction of somebody else other than Nick Nurse. Because my number one guy would be Nick Nurse, but I think he's number one on a lot of people's lists. So Frank Vogel is not really high on my list. Let me just say that. All right. Before we go any further, let's. I do want to put a bow on my Phillies conversation and go through last night's game and all that stuff. But first, let's talk about where the Phillies are right now after last night's loss. Here is your skipper, Rob Thompson, on where the Phillies are at.
Yeah, it's frustrating, especially when you come back late. You know, I thought we started off slow with the bats, but I thought the bats at the end of the game were good, and we got the momentum back there and gave it right back. So that's where you got to really shut down the inning and maintain your momentum, and we just couldn't do it.
The question was about shutdown innings, and last night and 2 nights ago, games 1 and 2 of this 3-game series against the Arizona Diamondbacks, if the Phillies started to mount a little bit of a comeback, they gave runs right back. They lacked the shutdown inning. So perfect example of that is the 4th inning of the game 1 of this series. Phillies are down 3-0. They go in the 4th inning. Kyle Schwarber, Bryson Stott hit solo home runs. You're now down 3-2. All right, let's go back and get a shutdown inning. Smith leads off the 5th inning where they solo home run. You already give 1 run back. It's 4-2. All right, so the Phillies respond in the 7th inning. They make it a 4-3 ball game. Now it's a 1-run game. Thank you, Trey Turner. How about that? You fight back from an 0-2 count, and you get an RBI single. It's a 4-3 ball game in the 7th inning. Then what happens in the 9th inning? In the 8th inning, the very next inning, Gurriel gets the RBI double. You're down 5-3, and then you give up another run in the 9th inning. You're down 6-3, and that's how you would lose. So then let's look at yesterday. Phillies are down 2-0 in the top of the 2nd inning. Moreno hit the 2-run homer off Matt Strahm. Then the Phillies come back with Cody Clemens RBI double, just missing a 2-run home run off the top of the wall in left field. When I say the top of the wall, I mean the top of the metal fence, like 2 inches, maybe an inch, and it's a home run, 2-run home run, and it's a tie ball game. So the Phillies get one back. All right, shut it down. It's a 2-1 ball game at this point. Shut it down. Get that shutdown inning in the third. It did not happen last night. Marte came out with the RBI triple that bounced over Clemens' head. You did limit the damage, but you still gave a run back. So now you're still down 2 runs. You were down 2-0, then 2-1, and then 3-1. That's a lack of a shutdown inning. That's what they're talking about right there. 7th inning, you fast forward. Phillies tie the ball game at 3. You got a nice play there by Cody Clemens, gets a second RBI of the game. Puts runners at first and third with 2 outs. Bohm steps up, pinch hitting for Sosa. He gets the RBI single, and now you're tied at 3. Sir Anthony Dominguez comes into the 8th inning. He gives up the double to Gurriel. And it was just out of the reach of Alec Bohm diving at third base. Then Walker is at the plate. There's a pass ball. Gurriel takes third, so you have a runner on third with nobody out. Walker then walks. It's runner at first and third with no outs. Corbin Carroll steps up. He gets the RBI single. You're down 4-3. Phillies couldn't do much after that. And that's how you'd lose the ball game. Lack of shutdown innings. Over the last 2 games, you have struggled big time in getting that shutdown inning. And like I wish we didn't need to talk about the shutdown inning. What about the momentum building inning? And I know that could be said for pitching, but what about the bats bailing the pitching out? Because you haven't seen that. And that's not going to happen, especially if your 1-2 guys last night, Trey Turner and Bryson Stott, go 0 for 8 combined. That ain't going to happen. And you know the old phrase, hit them where they ain't? Oh, my goodness. That double by Gurriel that was just out of the reach of Bohm, hit them where they ain't. Then you fast forward to the top or the bottom of the 8th inning. Bryson Stott steps up, lines out to Rivera at third on a ball hit on the screws. That would have been a double for Bryson Stott. To lead off that inning with a double would have been huge. But the Phillies didn't hit them where they ain't. It's the simplest way to put it. Then after you get a couple of runners on, Harper gets the double. Then you have Castellanos work a walk. By the way, Castellanos was thrown a splitter by McGuff. I think it was the second pitch of that at bat. And if Castellanos would have connected with the swing he put in, that ball would have probably hit the scoreboard in left field. They would have all the money they just spent on like the third biggest scoreboard in all of baseball. They would have had to spend some money on repairs because he would have blasted that pitch, but he didn't. He missed it. He ends up working a full count. Then he ends up working a walk. He gets on base. You got runners on first and second with 2 outs. Now, just like Bryson Stott had that line drive to third base, Kyle Schwarber steps up to the plate, and he hits a bullet. He hits a seed to center field. And who's waiting for it? Fletcher's right there, makes a diving, sliding catch, whatever you want to call it, in center field. And instead of having an opportunity there to tie the game, maybe getting a double, maybe even taking the lead, the Phillies are done in the bottom of that 8th inning. They hit the ball well on the screws, and to no avail because it was right at Diamondbacks defensive players. That ain't good. It's a tough spot to be in right now for the Phils, and where they are at right now, 7 games back, 22-26 on the season, 2.5 games out of a wild card spot. Rob Thompson was asked after the game what the mood of the clubhouse is right now while they're trying to avoid being swept by the Diamondbacks today. 105 start time, Zach Gallen on the hill, and heading into a 10-game road trip.
I think disappointed, frustrated, but they're not feeling sorry for themselves. They're fighting, grinding, coming to work every day and preparing. So, my sense is we're gonna fight our way out of this.
I give Rob Thompson a lot of credit throughout the playoffs. And really, in the World Series, this really started in September when the Phillies were still fighting for that final wild card spot. And I do think when it's all said and done, and that's why I qualify it by saying I'm mad at the Phillies, throughout September, when they had some struggles, Rob Thompson said, yeah, we're going to correct this. Like, he was the same even kill guy throughout the entire process. You go through the playoffs, same even kill guy. Get to the World Series, same even kill guy. Just going to keep fighting. I mean, what other choice do you have? You're not going to quit. You're not going to pack it in. You're not going to be like, well, I guess this team sucks. Let's trade everybody by the end of May. Like, that's not happening. And that's part of the frustration of baseball season, because when it's bad, you just kind of, it's either just going to continue or they're going to come out of it. Like, part of the saving grace is the fact that it's long as well. It's a long baseball season. But, man, when you watch them play this bad and you watch them continue to struggle with runners in scoring position, and you see a $300 million investment in the offseason having the type of struggles that he's having right now with Trey Turner, it's not exactly fun. And settling in every night to watch this team is incredibly frustrating. And with somebody else that can frustrate you is Nick Castellanos. Because the guy starts out the season by having these great at-bats, really seems like patience has settled in with him. He's not pressing or anything like that. He's still smacking doubles left and right this year, which is great. But he can be very frustrating as well. But the other side of it has been there to help you, whether that be doubles, whether it be RBIs, whether it be a consistent cleanup hitter. All that's right there. There is no saving grace with Trey Turner. His defense has left some to be desired this year as well. His defense at shortstop has left something to be desired this year. So I'm waiting for the saving grace. And hopefully that's the month of June. Hopefully it starts today, or a little early. Why not? You got to do a lot of hoping in the early goings of a baseball season when your team's struggling. Even when your team's doing well, even if you're the Braves right now, you hope you keep it going. The only thing is you got a nice track record that you can keep it going no matter who's in your lineup. And that's what the Braves bring to the table. The other saving grace is that nobody else in the division is really running away with this. The Braves are running away with this, but nobody else. So you won't have a lot of teams to leapfrog come the end of the year if need be. It's a pretty tight race there in the NL East. It's a pretty tight race overall in the National League when it comes to the wild card spot. But I don't know what's the most frustrating point of the Phillies right now for you other than Trey Turner. You can talk about health. You can certainly talk about a guy off that scrap heap, as they say, went out and gave you 5 innings of 1-run baseball and struck out 6. Talk about the injury bug. Talk about the whoever is going to be the regular 5th starter for you, trying to work things out. Ranger Suarez, by the way, gets the start today for the Phillies. There's just so many frustrating things about this Phillies team. But I do think the most notable and the one that most people are talking about is Trey Turner. And it's just going to be a man trying to get out of his own way this season, unfortunately. So where are you at right now with your frustration with the Phils? Are you also mad, or are you just overall mad at what the Phillies are bringing to the table? Let me tell you right now about my man Steven Singer of Steven Singer Jewelers, the other corner of 8th and Walnut, right there on Jewelers Row. Ladies and gentlemen, do what I do when it comes to your big jewelry purchases. Trust one man, the man with the perfect price. Steven Singer of Steven Singer Jewelers. One place, one price, the perfect price online at IHateStevenSinger.com. At Steven Singer Jewelers, you get treated like a real family member by a real jewelry expert. When you walk in, you'll sit down, you'll relax, you'll see all the beautiful, dazzling diamond inventory that you have to choose from, and a real jewelry expert will walk you through it all. And you don't have to worry about negotiating or haggling or any pressure-packed situation like that, because the perfect price is already there at Steven Singer Jewelers. While other jewelers are marking things way up just to mark it down a couple of bucks in front of you, make you feel like you won some kind of prize, Steven Singer, you're a winner the minute you walk in there. Steven Singer Jewelers, one place, one price. The perfect price online at IHateStevenSinger.com. That's IHateStevenSinger.com. Let me tell you about the great people at Manscaped. Manscaped.com, the leader in below-the-waist grooming. Join 4 million men worldwide who trust Manscaped and their skin-safe technology that helps reduce the risk of nicks, so you can manscape with confidence and comfort. Manscaped offers 20% off and free shipping when you use promo code Farzy at manscaped.com. You'll love their Platinum Package 4.0, which includes their Lawnmower 4.0 trimmer, as well as their Weed Whacker ear and nose hair trimmer. And yes, as I said, skin-safe technology, so you can manscape with confidence and comfort. So check out manscaped.com. Use promo code Farzy at manscaped.com. How about Freestone Farm CBD at freestonefarmcbd.com? You'll love their tropical tasting Bayox that clocks it in a chart topping 24.1%. And Super CBD, which is half Hindu, Kush, at 21%. Genetics of these guys are off the charts. So try Freestone Farm CBD at freestonefarmcbd.com. Great for winding down after a long day or maybe after a workout. Just relaxing. Little Freestone Farm CBD. FreestoneFarmCBD.com. Use promo code Farzy. And how about the great people at PHL Sports Nation, Philadelphia Sports Nation, enhancing your Philadelphia sports fan experience across all social media and blogs. That's PHLSportsNation.com. Let's get into the chat check, see how you beautiful people are doing on this fine morning. Going to start it over on the Farzy Show page. Mike Fuji, what's going on? April, good morning. Seems like the whole lineup has the yips. You know what? April, I agree with you. One exception. Kyle Schwarber, I think it just is what Kyle Schwarber is. Bryce Harper, I just think is a bit, I hate reading into body language. But Bryce Harper, after he got that double in the 8th inning last night, it wasn't the normal, Bryce Harper slides into the bag, jumps up, turns around, it's like, let's go. It was like, well, I'm here now. It wasn't like the energy-filled type of Bryce Harper that we're used to seeing. And he had a couple of hits. He had 2 hits for you last night, which is great. But I was expecting, and maybe because there was 2 outs, I don't know. But I was expecting after he got that double, the jump, let's go. We're not going to lose this. Let's go. The series is on the line, winning a series, losing another series. It's on the line. You got a tough road trip. This is a big series for the Phillies in terms of overall morale booster. And I look to Bryce Harper as the guy to make sure that momentum and that excitement and that energy above all else is there. And when he slid into second base, I just thought, it didn't piss me off. It raged me. I just looked at it and went, huh. All right. That's not the vibe you're used to getting from Bryce Harper of all right, I'm here now. Let's see what happens. I'm standing on second base. I represent the tying run. That's it. Meh. 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 That's what it was. The Castellanos worked the walk, whatever. We know the rest of the story from yesterday. We just went through the play-by-play of it. But it was very frustrating to see that. I just went, okay. All right. Does Bryce Harper also not believe that he's being brought home? But April, yeah, mostly everybody else got the yips. Sean Kilray, what's going on? April, PJ, I'm bummed. Just found out our local minor league team got sold and they're being moved. What? April's down in Carolina, by the way. Wait, the Down Eastwood Ducks, they are a Texas Rangers affiliate. I heard they're moving them to South Carolina. Oh, okay. Wait, South Carolina? No, that's no bueno. That's no bueno, April. Mihai Sanchez, morning all. I'm done with the Vegas. Stotts line out. Harper missing a home run. Schwarber getting robbed of a hit in the 8th. Is the MLB scripted? Man, I hate the D-backs. And I can't stand Zach Gallen. The D-backs are just a funny team to hate. Why would you hate the D-backs? But I get it. They've caused the Phillies problems over the years. But Harper missing a home run. When did Harper miss the home? Oh, on the double. Yeah. I still think Clemens' home run was right there for the taking, and unfortunately just didn't have enough mustard on it. Jim expressing his condolences about the team moving. Jim, you're shocked we've had the Lehigh Valley Iron Pigs for so long. Yeah. Has been. What did the Wilkes-Barre Scranton, when was that over? 05, 06? I don't know. You still have the Dora Bulls, but that is a 2-hour drive away. Wow. Sorry. Everyone's giving condolences to April for sorry about the that does suck. That does suck. I still, and look, it's nothing to do with minor league baseball other than a team moving. But as you guys know, my mom is from the Baltimore area, and I still remember the stories being told as a kid. I was 4, I think, when the Colts moved to Indianapolis. The Mayflower trucks through the middle of the night. Those stories. Yeah, that sucks, man. Nobody wants to see that. That's a fun activity. Nobody wants to see that team move. Sean Gillespie, overall frustrated with the Phillies. Okay. Tyvita. What's up, Tyvita? Yeah, those teams would definitely have to follow the money way more. Professor Dutch, what's going on? Gatorade Tater in great value. Green Goblin Dumb finally hit their shots against Jimmy Buckets and company last night. They looked like they did against the Sixers. Gator Tater. Wow. Great value, Green Goblin Dumb. Professor Dutch has a whole lot in that comment right there. Yes, the Boston Celtics did force Game 5 against the Heat last night. Tatum finished with 33 points. 25 of those points coming in the second half. Boy, oh boy. April, Professor Dutch, I was really hoping that the Heat would close it out, as would I. Phillies continue breaking my heart, says Professor Dutch. Might take the summer off from sports, dive deeper into my history nerddom. Thanks for the great content, Farzy. I'm here for you, Professor Dutch. I'm here for you. What did I just watch? I was watching some great history documentary. Oh, I went back to a classic. When I was on the road a lot, traveling for the aforementioned Sunday Night Football, if I had trouble sleeping, I would put on this documentary. I think it's called Timeline on Sir William Wallace, Braveheart. Okay. And it basically goes fact or fiction through the movie. It tells the real story of William Wallace and all that stuff. The movie's not very historically accurate, but anyway, ain't the point. But it's a good one. If you want to go down a history wormhole, we'll learn a little bit more about Braveheart. I think it's called Timeline on may not even be History Channel, but it is it's history. Whatever, it's history. You'll like it. What's the guy's name? I want to make sure I give you the guy's name because that's important. Oh, it doesn't come up in the title? What kind of malarkey is this? Anyway, who is the real William Wallace? Braveheart, Timeline. Knock yourself out. Some British guy does the narration and hosting. It's pretty good. So there you go. Hey, the Phillies are so bad. Let's talk about Braveheart. Sean Kilwright, I need Jimmy Buckets to take out Kevin White, a.k.a. Stephen A. and Boston. Sean Kilwright, the Corbin Carroll kid is damn good. Kid has wheels. Yeah, he can flat out fly. No question about that. The kid can flat out fly. Flipping over to the Jacob Media YouTube page, Jonathan Harvey. What's up, Jonathan? Morning, Farzy. Rob Thompson job in jeopardy with these players. Trey Turner pressing, just a mental thing, obviously. I hope it's a mental thing. Health thing was, if it's a health thing and he's still playing, then that's just ridiculous. Like this, it can't go on. I don't care if it's something that Trey Turner heard from a doc. Look, it's not as far as I know, nothing's been said that it's a health thing. It's obviously I think it's obviously a mental thing with Trey Turner. And I don't know what the next step is for him. You've tried the day off and you're getting a lot of the same. It's got to be something that happened as I kick a wire and make sure I'm still going. Okay, good. So it's got to be something that happens with Trey Turner figuring it out at the plate. This is, like, what do you do? Order him not to swing until he's got 2 strikes? Like, what do you do with that? Damn it. Anyway. Nafis Austin, no Frank Vogel. Thank you. Yeah, I'm with you there. I don't. It's such a weird thing to come in with this team. I don't know, man. I might go, in terms of my pecking order, my order is Nick Nurse, Mike Budenholzer, Sam Cassell, a pile of crap, Mike D'Antoni, Frank Vogel. I think that's where my list is for the Philadelphia 76ers next head coach. So Nafis, I think I might be with you there. Sean Gillespie, no Vogel, and I really don't get the Phillies now. Okay, Sean. And the Heat need to stop playing with their food and finish the Celtics. Thank you. Barbara Carroll. What's up, Barbara? Can I call you Babs? Girardi got fired with this record. Was Girardi, he might have been 22 and 29, but anyway, it's splitting hairs. Yes, he did. But the Phillies, after thinking they found for lack of a better term, kid brilliant with Rob Thompson and giving him, actually taking the interim tag off and signing him to a longer-term deal. I don't think that they're going to do anything different. Miami isn't good, and Butler isn't a superstar. Stop trying to invent something that isn't true. Yeah, but he's a superstar to us because we don't have it anymore, and he's been in the NBA Finals. He's about to get to the NBA Finals again. If Harden is still here, it won't matter who the coach is. They will lose. The thing with Harden, I'm still in the school of I don't want James Harden back. There's nothing about James Harden that I want back with Philadelphia. There's nothing. I want to move on. And you know what? I give credit. Kyle Pagan, I did the hit on Crossing Broad yesterday. They had me on the show. Kevin Kincaid was on this show yesterday. I went on their show yesterday as well. And he asked me the question about, would you give one more year to a retooling and then see what's available next year? If you get Mike Budenholzer as a head, here's my stipulations. If you get Mike Budenholzer now as a head coach, now that it looks like Nick Nurse will probably end up with the Suns. If you get Mike Budenholzer as the head coach, and you decide to give this team to Tyrese Maxey and Joel Embiid as the 1-2 punch, and then you acquire, let's say, decent talent. Not all-star caliber talent, but guys that do their job. 3-and-D, do that consistently. You can always count on them. Tobias Harris gets a bigger role with this team, and we see what he's got left and hopefully markets himself well enough for a nice trade piece. Then I would go, all right, this year is just going to be a retooling year. You're going to be maybe a play-in team. Maybe you'll be a 5 seed. Maybe if Maxey takes another huge leap forward. And you have Mike Budenholzer as your head coach. Maybe then. I'll be fine with saying, all right, well, let's see where this year goes. But if, like, Frank Vogel's your head coach, if Mike D'Antoni's your head coach, and James Harden's back, then I'm just going to go ahead and expect the same damn result. So I'm with you there, Barbara. I saw that comparison, bringing in Caruso. Oh, Levine. I've been after Levine for a long time. I would love to see Levine here. Absolutely. Sean Gillespie, the William Wallace timeline was excellent. History over sports until football season. Curiosity stream. I'll go on, man. Don't put the quarter in the machine. Like when I was in high school, I was like, you know what? Maybe I'll just be a history teacher and coach basketball because I could live a happy life doing those things. Be a history teacher and coach basketball? Hells yeah! That's a plan. That's a plan right there. Oh yeah, the History Channel documentaries. If you ever have trouble sleeping, first off, there's probably the only two things that I could watch and either be like edge of my seat excited about watching or just being lulled to sleep. What was the guy's name? Oh man, a lot of the ladies know him from Gilmore Girls. He was in the movie Richie Rich. He played Richie Rich's father, Macaulay Culkin's father in Richie Rich. He's done so many different History Channel documentaries. The American Revolution. Oh man, is that fantastic? That's a great one to fall asleep to. Ben Franklin, the Ben Franklin documentary. Oh, pots and pans. That's a great one. So there you go. Oh, Barbara. Thanks, Babs. Farzy, I love your show. Wish it was longer, my friend. Oh, you're very kind. Thank you very much. Thanks, everybody in the chat. You guys are great, as per usual. Let's get to the morning rush brought to you by Sky Motorcars, skymotorcars.com. Yes, I mentioned it. The Boston Celtics stayed alive against our dear friend Jimmy Butler and the Heat last night with a 116-99 victory over the Heat. They outscored the Heat 38-23 in the third quarter and pretty much ran away from there. One thing, so Tatum did have 33 points. I said that earlier, but I wasn't sure if it was 33 or 35. But he had 21 of his points, and there were 25 of his points in the second half. So, yes, go figure, he's clutch again. But did you guys notice this last night? In the third quarter of the Eastern Conference Finals, you're looking in the stands, and they have a whiteout last night in Miami. At least it looked like it. And you could see so many bright red seats just empty. In the third quarter, you're like at the 9-minute mark. So anyone going to get concessions at halftime should be back on their seats already. And then in the fourth quarter, you still see open seats. I'm like, what the hell is wrong with you people? Anyway, as far as the game went, our man Jimmy Butler finished with 29 points and did all he could try to help his team, and they just couldn't put the Celtics away. So now Jimmy Butler and the Miami Heat have to go back north, and they have to try to finish off the Boston Celtics tomorrow night, 8:30 tip-off. If the Celtics win that game, and obviously they're back at home, I didn't see if Jaylen Brown issued another challenge to the Boston faithful, but if he did, this would be a game to get up for. Certainly be a game to get up for. Season on the line, do or die for the Boston Celtics. And that's where we are right now, unfortunately. One other thing about last night's game, the 116-99 loss, or win, I should say, for Boston. Jason Tatum led the way with 33 points. No other Celtic had more than 17 points. So, like, Jaylen Brown didn't have a 20-point game. Marcus Smart didn't go off in that game. They were just on the struggle bus. They did shoot 51% from the floor, though. Compare that to Miami, who shot 43% and only 25% from beyond the arc. So that really cost Miami. Similar to what cost the Sixers in their 4 losses against the Celtics, unfortunately. As for your beloved Philadelphia Phillies, your frustrating Phillies, they are back at it today. 1:05 start time. Zach Gallen gets the start for the Diamondbacks, looking to complete the sweep. Ranger Suarez will be back on the hill, making his 3rd start since his return. Suarez has struggled since his debut 2 starts ago. And, of course, just in his last start, only went 2 innings, throwing 40 pitches, allowing 4 runs to cross the plate. You're seeing frustration now with the Phillies, and I know Rob Thompson just talked about how even keel he is. But when you hear from Trey Turner or Bryce Harper or anybody else in that dugout that comes out to address the media, you read the quotes from those guys, you see the interviews, they know what's going on. And everyone has to look to themselves to a man. I was reading this in Todd Zalecki's column about how this team needs to identify what their role is, what their jobs are, and everybody needs to make sure that they're doing their job. 0 for 8, and as much as I love Bryce's stat and everything he's done this year, 0 for 8 between him and Trey Turner to start out a ball game is terrible, especially when that particular ball game is being started by Matt Strum and being middled, I don't know what the hell you call it, by Dylan Covey. Your top 2 guys need to lead the way in that regard. Bryce Harper was there, got you a couple of hits. That was good. Nick Castellanos at least got on base. We're going to walk. That's good. But everything else, I mean, you had opportunities in this game that I didn't even touch on from yesterday. But if you look at this second game, Bryce Harper led off in the 4th inning with a single. Phillies go down 1-2-3. And Harper stole second. That was he attempted to steal second. This is another thing that pissed me off. Game 1, Trey Turner stole with Nick Castellanos at the dish. And that took the bat out of Bryce Harper's hands. If Nick Castellanos, and the funny thing was, Harper got a single in this one or a double in this one, and Nick Castellanos later came up and ended up hitting or getting a single. So, like, as this game plays out, I'm trying to see where that was in last night's game. Maybe I'm confusing it for the other night, but oh no, it was the 7th inning. Harper worked a walk. Castellanos got the double. So then he had a runner on 2nd and 3rd with nobody out. So the point of my argument last night was, why would you try to steal with Trey Turner when Castellanos is at the plate and coming up next is Bryce Harper? It opens up a base for Bryce Harper, when what you could do is either wait to see if Castellanos walks, unlikely, and this is from 2 nights ago, or you get driven home, you're fast enough with a hit from Bryce Harper in the gap. So then last night, in the 4th inning, Harper leads off with a single. Castellanos strikes out on 4 pitches. Schwarber steps up there, and he's at the plate, and I believe there was 1 strike already on Schwarber, and Harper takes off to steal second, gets thrown out. Why give the out? Why risk the out there? And it wasn't like there was multiple disengagements there by Nelson. So it wasn't like it was a given stolen base. why take the opportunity of another run with Schwarber at the plate, who could crack one at any time and get you a 2-run home run as opposed to a solo home run? And if he's going to make contact, he's going to put it in the gap. Like, why would I risk stealing the base there? It just didn't seem like a heads-up play. So that rubbed me the wrong way when Harper got caught stealing in the fourth inning there. And yeah, just one of the many frustrating things in last night's game, unfortunately. But Phillies are back at it today. Zach Gallen gets the start against the Phils as they try to complete the sweep in South Philadelphia. That's where we're at. Gallen, though, and this seems to be an unfortunate regularity, Gallen did not have a good start in his last outing. He actually got shelled by the Pittsburgh Pirates. And it seems like whenever somebody is struggling, they come in and they face the Phillies, and all of a sudden, isn't it amazing? They just start doing really well. So Gallen's going to come into town with a 6-2 record, 2.95 ERA. In his last start, it was 5 earned runs in total. 5 earned runs he was charged for, 8 runs in total, I should say. So 8 runs on 8 hits. And how about this? 4 walks by Zach Gallen against Pittsburgh Pirates. And it was a 13-3 loss at the hands of the Pirates for the Arizona Diamondbacks. He only went 3 2/3. Now, before that, he went back-to-back outings of at least 7 innings, allowing a total of 3 earned runs. I'm going to go ahead and assume that this Phillies lineup is going to see that version of Zach Gallen and not the one that allows 8 runs, 5 of them earned. As much as I'd like to see that, I don't think the Phillies are going to have the patience for it today, unfortunately. 1:05 start time, South Philadelphia. I'll be back with you guys on the Jacob Media YouTube channel after the game today. Now, I'm going to let you know a little 2 Inside Baseball. I have a event today at 5 o'clock. So if the baseball game ends in a timely manner, I'll be able to have your back doing that post-game show today. If it doesn't, then we'll have to wait to scream, yell, and be pissed off at the world. But just to let you know, that's where we're at today. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. Appreciate you guys. That's the Farzy Show presented by Steven Singer of Steven Singer Jewelers. Appreciate you guys watching. Jim Hyder produced the program, did a wonderful job as per usual. Appreciate you guys. Let me see if there's anything else. Tymita. I think Nick Nurse is the best choice. Him or Sam Cassell? Okay. Travis is saying he can't wait to boo Gannon's return to Philly. I think everyone is eagerly awaiting that moment. Thanks, everybody. Be back with you guys tomorrow morning. Talk to you then. See ya.